Hey guys, so for this video I have 7 advanced building, editing, and just overall gameplay related tips and tricks. A lot of the strats and techniques that I'll cover will be new, but some won't, and you may have seen them before. The reason I've still decided to include them is because I haven't seen anyone give an actual explanation or any use cases for how and when these not as new tricks could be applied in game. Plus, if you see me cover something, you know it's actually useful and something that you should learn. Anyways, you guys know the drill by now. I'll show what the trick is, how to do it, why it works, and then an in-game example. We have a lot to cover, so let's get into it, starting with a new trick pro players are using to reduce their bloom. Normally, if you're spraying an opponent with your assault rifle, your crosshairs will get bigger the longer you hold down your fire button, and you'll miss more shots because there's more bloom. With this trick, you can see I get noticeably less bloom and hit way more shots. So what's the secret here? Part of it is in what I'm actually doing as I'm shooting. In the first clip, I'm standing still, but in the second clip, my character almost looks like it's having a seizure. What I'm doing is two things. The first is tapping A and D, which are my left and right strafe keys. If you're on controller, that's the same as moving your analog stick to the left, then tapping it to the right repeatedly. On top of that, I'm spamming my crouch button, so I'm crouching and uncrouching again and again and again. When you do both of these things together at the same time, your crosshair does not expand and you get a lot less bloom. Literally all I'm doing is pressing A then D, while also spam crouching and uncrouching, which I do by pressing shift to crouch and then space to uncrouch. It's a little tricky at first because you're hitting 4 different keys, but you know, there is a reason I call these advanced tips and tricks. The reason this works is because you're combining 2 separate methods to reduce your bloom. First, by just tapping either of your strafe keys, you're essentially realigning your crosshair every time you move. Because you're spamming A, D, or both, your crosshair won't get any bigger. I use this a lot when trying to hit people gliding in the air because it's easy and it's a lot more effective than just normally spraying. The same thing happens when crouch spamming, except you're locking your crosshair in vertically by continuously going up and down. That's why when you strafe spam and crouch spam at the same time, you get so much less bloom. If you look closely, I'm also spamming W and S because I'm a little bit of a madman. You don't have to do that at all, but I find it a little easier than standing still. Mongraal is by far the biggest abuser of this little trick, so now you guys know why he's always spam crouching and strafing all the time. It used to be because it would make you a harder target to hit, but Mongraal does it even when his opponents aren't looking at him because he knows how helpful it is in reducing his bloom. Credit for this trick goes to Almighty Paco on Reddit. Second trick is a 200 IQ way to catch your opponent off guard after you take his wall. The normal and telegraphed way is to steal their wall, make an edit, and then get a shot off on them. What any good player would do is right as you make the edit, put up a ramp and block the shot and then edit out. We need a way to be quicker to get a shot off. The genius trick and the way to do that is to pre-edit your wall, so just hold out your wall and then edit it before it's actually placed. Then when you go and replace their wall, you don't even need to edit. This works because of how much quicker it is than how you'd normally replace a wall and go for an edit shot. All that extra time that's wasted making the edit is just more time for the turtling player to protect themselves. Think about it from their perspective and what they're doing. They're just going to be holding their walls, not expecting you to steal it. If you go for the normal play, they can see that edit coming as soon as you replace their wall. But when you have the edit already made and it's pre-edited into the wall, even if they're not caught off guard by having their wall taken, they still won't have any time to react. I was experimenting with some other edits and there are a ton of possibilities for this. You could pre-edit the wall for easy right hand peeks, for jump shots, or some combination of both. It's also decently safe because you can just reset the edit you made immediately after the shot to prevent any return damage. Here's a clip from Reddit user itsJerian putting it in action and destroying his opponent with it. You can see as itsJerian comes down and heavy snipes the wall, his opponent is holding turbo build out of habit because his wall just got taken, but he continues to turbo build even after because the specific edit that itsJerian made makes it appear as if there's no wall there. By the time the soccer skin realizes what's happening and takes his shotgun out, it's all too late for him. The third trick is a cheeky way to shoot through doors. All you need to do is edit a door into a wood wall and you're then able to shoot through the cracks in it. Any of the cracks can be shot through, and you can do it with a shotgun, with an assault rifle, and even snipers. Basically, any projectile or weapon in the game can be shot through wood doors now. You gotta be careful though and make sure you're shooting through the openings, or else you'll just shoot the wall instead. Unfortunately, this only works on wood, so don't bother trying it with steel or brick because there's no openings to shoot through. I can see this being very useful in box fighting situations. If you have a guy pressuring you, you can quickly edit a door into your wall and sneak a shot on them while they'll have no idea how they took damage. Technically, you can get shot if your opponent knows the trick and shoots you through the cracks too, but when you edit the door, they'll be too busy waiting for you to walk through it or to make an edit, so they won't expect for you to actually shoot through it. This trick could also be useful when you replace your opponent's wall. They'll expect a window or top row edit, so instead, make a door edit and you can get a quick shot off while being protected. This should really be your go-to edit if you're low because you can scroll wheel reset the door edit, which will make it virtually impossible for you to get shot. So during box fights, now you know what to do to take your opponent off guard. There's one other variation of this trick I want to show, which you can do by editing a T into your wall. That will leave you with a door and the whole top row gone. If you go over to the side, you can snipe through any of the cracks next to the door. I'm not sure why any of this is a thing, but I guess it has something to do with the way projectiles work and the hit registration for walls. This particular trick is a little more situational, but I could see it coming in handy during scrims and tournament matches when you're boxed up in a 1x1. Just make the T edit and get behind the side wall so you're out of sight. You're then free to snipe anyone you can get a line of sight on while being completely hidden yourself. Fourth trick is a crazy new way to use a flint knock pistol. Anytime you're getting pressured while turtling, edit the two front pieces of your box's floor and cone, then look straight down and flint knock yourself. This will send you straight up and into the edited cone piece, which because you edit it into a ramp, it will propel you forwards over your opponent. At full speed, the hardest part is just making sure you get the edit. Otherwise, it's not that difficult and will definitely take your opponents by surprise. Just make sure that you're lined up in front of the edited floor piece or else you'll flint knock yourself straight into the floor. And make sure that you look straight down while shooting it so you can go straight up and not to the side or backwards. From your opponent's perspective, they'll see the edit, but the last thing they'll expect is for you to come flying up and over them out of nowhere. If you want to add a little extra height and distance, you can jump before you flint knock and that will send you even farther over the top. The other way to use this trick is to immediately start building up for high ground after you flint knock yourself up. You can easily get height on anyone using this because you start a solid 2 levels higher from the flint boost. This is definitely the safer variation when you're 1 HP and you need time to heal, so you don't want to risk the chance of getting shot like in the first one. Fifth on our list is the right way to use shockwave grenades. In my last advanced tips and tricks video, I showed how you should be using them to get in from the top of a 1x1. This video, I'm going to show how to get in from the sides. The wrong way, which most people do it, is getting up next to the 1x1 and shocking yourself sideways. You will break your opponent's turtle, but you'll get sent like 20 feet past it. The right way to do it is to be 2 entire floor pieces away and throw the shockwave grenade another floor piece away from you. This will send you directly into the corner of your opponent's box. From there, you can get a shot off, or what I've seen Cypher do is after you shockwave inside, you can trap the wall you broke through to get a guaranteed 150 damage. Your opponent will have absolutely no idea what's coming, and the trap will be the icing on top to you busting through their wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Here's Cypher in game pulling this off, and you can see he first recognizes the situation, then he quickly knows where he needs to be to use the trick, lines himself and the mega impulse up, and then pulls the trigger. After he flies through the wall, he traps it and gets an easy double kill on 2 guys who thought they were safe just chilling in a metal 1x1. Second to last trick is a new way to do this old trap exploit we see from Tfue. All you had to do in the past was to place a trap on an already placed trap, and for some reason it would get put underneath it. The new way to do this is to edit a cone on top of the floor into a ramp, then look right below the middle bar of the edited cone. If you spam place the traps, it will place a trap on top and a trap on the other side of the floor at the same time. It might take some practice at first, but just make sure the little trap visual you can see when you press your trap button, make sure the top of that is just below the big center bar here, and you should get it no problem. This is by far the safest and most broken way to kill an opponent inside a box if you're able to replace their floor and cone. From their perspective, they'll expect you to make an edit play, but instead, they'll see a magical trap appear on their roof. The last trick is more of a tip for using glider redeploy. Now you're actually able to stop gliding and go straight down until you hit the point where you have to pull your chute. The way it worked before was once you pulled your glider, you were stuck with that and you had to glide all the way down. Now you don't have to worry about getting lasered, as you can skydive down and pull your glider as many times as you'd like. So if you learned something new and this video helped you out, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code JERIan. We're almost at 300k, so make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to do a huge giveaway when we hit that milestone. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.